Thanks for staying with us here at WeatherTech Raceway. I'm down in the pit lane and there's a hive of activity behind me. We are just a couple of moments away from the start of the Mission Food King of the Baggers Challenge. Just down here, Jeremy McWilliams. We were going to try and talk to him. He's fully focused. He wants to focus on this, a last lap effort to get Jeremy McWilliams into the challenge. Just behind him is Tyler O'Hara. He safely made it through as well. So the two Indian machines have made it through. Let's have a little look a little bit further along. We're not going to be there, Steve Scheibe. Everything good, Steve?
Excuse me?
Everything good?
All's well.
All is well. Good job. Thanks, Steve. Steve Scheibe, of course. Double duty this week. We talk about riders doing double duty. Steve Scheibe, of course, the team manager of the Scheibe racing team running Ashton Yates. He's also heavily involved with this Indian project as well, keeping an eye on what's going on. Let's come down here then. James Rispoli and Tyler O'Hara. They've safely made it through on the Vanson Hines machines. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Taylor. Taylor, I know you're fully focused, but how are you feeling for this one? Dash for the cash about to come out.
Yeah, it's all or nothing, so we're going to throw it at it and see what happens. Grip's a little down today, but we're going faster and faster every session, so excited to get the Vanson Hines bike up there and throw it into turn one.
Okay, good job. There's a lot of movement now down here as well. Tyre warmers starting to come off down here as well. You can see on the bike of James Rispoli, tyre warmers coming out. We're not going to get a chance to speak to James. He's just on my left-hand side. Helmet is now on. So, again, it's so quick down here. It's really frantic, but quite exciting as well. Last couple of minutes adjustments down here for James Rispoli. He's been out on circuit on the Twins Cup bike. He's literally got off the Twins Cup bike and then jumped onto this beast here, the Vanson Hines. We're getting right in the way here. I want to keep right out of the way because these guys now are getting ready. Look, a little last minute stretch, a little kick of the legs for James Rispoli, and he is going to be on track on the number 43. The 44 of Taylor Knapp already here. The other two bikes, the Wyman brothers, they are way at the other end of the pit lane. We aren't going to get to see them, and look how quick this is now. They're giving them the signal. James Rispoli just wipes his brows, makes a couple of little adjustments down here as well. Full focus, waiting for that green flag to go. The riders will come round onto will go onto the circuit. They'll come round onto the start and finish line, and then it will be a 3-lap dash for cash. The two Indian riders just in front of the two Vanson Hines machines also now getting onto the bike. I can see Tyler O'Hara. He now moves back across from pit wall. He was having a long look up towards turn number 1. James Rispoli gives us a wave, engages gear, and the two Vanson Hines machines are first riders heading down. There goes Tyler O'Hara. Here now comes Jeremy McWilliams on the left-hand side. He is getting ready, and if the camera can just spin around down here, we can now see the Wyman brothers heading down the pit lane as well. Rider number 5 to head up towards the start line will be Travis Wyman. Travis Wyman now heads up, and the final rider to come out onto the circuit will be the number 1, the defending champion. Kyle Wyman now follows his brother along the pit lane, and he will of course be starting right at the sharp end of this. I'm going to get myself into a great vantage point, because if you've never seen the challenge, you do not want to miss this. Back to you boys upstairs. This is going to be fantastic.
Oh, I am so amped about this. This should be just fierce on this track. 3 laps, just an absolute sprint. And Roland, we were talking during the break, not a lot of turnaround time here. And if you have some strategy plans in terms of tire changes, setup changes, that crew's got to be on it.
Well, it's real tough too, because you want to go out there and be out there at the end of the session and drop that time at the end of the session. And when you do, you really come in. You don't have much time to prepare for this Mission Foods Challenge. And as the riders would have it, I mean, you're talking about $5,000 on the line, so this is a priority for them.
Oh, without a doubt. And like you said, if you're going to try something for this race, and you talked about that super sticky tire, you think any of them are going to try it for the challenge? It's only 3 laps. You think they're going to go after it?
I think it'd be a great time to use that tire, especially if they want to drop back down into the 29s, and they're probably going to have to be in the 29s to win this race. We're still going to be banging bars. A little bit of a draft here at Laguna, but big thanks out to Juan Gonzalez at Mission Foods for making this challenge happen and really supporting the bagger guys and the super hooligan guys as well. It's just great to have a sponsor like Mission Foods helping out racing like they do. It's a huge help to everybody, and a big carrot for the riders at 5K.
Absolutely. And one of the big things is you don't have success in a series or an individual class without some really good partners. And like what you've done certainly for the Super Hooligans, and what Mission Foods has done in this class and so many other areas. Mission Foods is just a key player in the motorcycle road racing sport right now, isn't it?
Oh, and they also have some delicious food.
And well, and that's the good
Delicious
part of it.
snacks.
There you go.
Chips, tortillas, the whole nine.
The whole 9 yards.
Thanks, Juan. I'm going to have a taco after this.
I know, now, yeah.
It's making me hungry watching this Mission Foods Challenge.
All right, good look there at the 43 of Rispoli. Everybody getting ready here for this 3-lap absolute dash. And the sound of these things when they launch is just spectacular as well. All right, that's what, about $1,250,000 per lap here.
Per lap.
So
4 Harleys and 2 Indians, and this is going to be a scrap.
throw down time. Lights are on. Challenge time, we're green. Let's see who got the launch. Good start by Wyman, but wow, a shot like a rocket. Kyle Wyman launches, jumps into the lead, up on the outside, 29 O'Hara, and makes that work. He's slotted into second now, down into turn 2. So it's Kyle Wyman, then O'Hara, and then Travis Wyman right behind. Is that Rispoli who's tucked right up behind him? No, that's McWilliams. Sorry.
Yeah, that's McWilliams.
Oh, Rispoli is pulled over. Oh, look at the dejection. You can see it there. So we're down to a 5-rider run to the cash here.
That's a tough one for Rispoli. Put in a solid qualifying effort, but we're seeing Kyle, true to form right now, and we've got Tyler O'Hara slotted up behind him, and he's going to try and make sure that he can stay on the back and get a little bit of, see if he can pick up a little bit of time from qualifying and stay with Kyle. So we got this Harley Davidson Indian battle continues to develop even in this Mission Foods Challenge.
Yeah, right now it's Harley Indian, Harley Indian, Harley at this stage as they feed it down through Rainey, down into 10, right at the apex, pick up a little bit of banking, a little bit of camber, so they can really launch it down into this final turn, turn 11. Wyman starting to open up a little bit of a gap here in the early going, Roland.
Yeah, right off from the first lap on, I mean, he obviously had quite a bit of speed. I'm surprised that we're not seeing Travis, pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, that margin in one lap, 1.1 seconds that Kyle was able to open up. And some of that, I think, came from that launch that he had was just phenomenal. By the time he got down to turn 2, he already had half of that second, I think, in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see, I mean, Kyle's definitely got a little bit of speed, it looks like, on just about everybody, even Travis at this point. Travis has got his hand up. That's not looking good for the factory Harley rider.
Yeah, the HD Screaming Eagle suddenly coming up with some sort of an issue here. And you see one have a problem, and then you see another guy's hand up. Makes you wonder a little bit, doesn't it, with Rispoli? And now this.
Well, I'll tell you, these bikes are on the edge, and they've been put through their paces all weekend. If they're on the same motor, and they're pushing as hard as they're pushing, they're in brand new territory with these bikes. Almost every single lap. So we're seeing development happen live on the racetrack. These guys got a little bit of testing time, but not a lot. Not a lot. Probably not as much as any of them want. And Kyle's showing you the proof is in the pudding and getting these bikes on the racetrack and get them tested. He's got a little bit of a gap on Tyler, and he continues to push and go a little bit faster and a little bit faster.
I mean, he just uncorked a 130.7 on that last lap. What does he do on this one? Flashes through it. You called it into the 29s, so 129.5. as he has now ballooned that margin up to over 2 seconds, and he is totally in the zone right now.
And that is the fastest lap of the weekend by 2/10 or 3/10. How fast can these guys go on these 620-pound baggers? Kyle's going to challenge those lap times as much as he can, and I mean, that's a 29.5 is smoking around Laguna Seca.
Oh, especially when you're in a race, it's one thing to do a qualifying, but the track just keeps getting better, and they keep dialing it up. There is a shot of a frustrated Travis Wyman. He's walking away and not happy, obviously, and Rispoli didn't even make it through the first lap, as we are now about halfway through. Final lap of the challenge, the Mission Foods Challenge, $5,000 run to the Bucks. Winner takes all, and I just love watching Kyle come through that little right-hand kink up into the corkscrew.
I mean, Kyle's got a little something on everybody, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it live right now. And you know, when we watch qualifying, I'm like, yeah, he can run in the 29s, but I didn't expect him to pull out the gap that he has on Tyler O'Hara quite this early. You know, what's happening in qualifying is definitely reflecting in this mission challenge.
Well, and I mean, every lap he's picking up 3/4 tenths. Here we go. Checkers are out. A dominating run from an absolute shuttle launch off the line to a huge win. The margin of victory, 3 laps. He was gaining a second plus a lap, and sticks it on there by 3.1 seconds over Tyler O'Hara. And Taylor Knapp would complete the podium, McWilliams, and then the 2 bikes that had the issues, Travis Wyman and James Rispoli. But in this one, box doesn't matter. It's the one step that's happens to be in a pile of cash.
Yeah, second place is your first loser in this one. There's no doubt about that. Kyle's going to be happy with that $5,000 check. That's a big one, and you know he's going to be taking that 5K home for Mission Foods.
Yeah.
Thank you, Juan Gonzalez.
Oh, absolutely, and that was well earned, wasn't it? That was just a superb run, and just controlled it from the off. I mean, that launch. I mean, I think he served notice right there and said, "Yeah, I got this one, guys."
Well, you can also see that, you know, attrition plays its part in bagger racing. It always does. And we see Kyle go out there and run 3 really fast laps after running that qualifying as well. So we'll see, you know, we'll see if the Harleys hold together. We'll see if all of them hold together, because it's a challenge every time these guys get on the racetrack to keep the bikes in one piece.
Well, let's go back, take a look at some of the highlights. And for me, it all begins at the start. And just keep an eye on that number 1. Look at this launch. You can see the number 10. He just got a big wheelie, did Travis, and Kyle just hit it perfectly. And McWilliams trying to find a way through in the back as O'Hara slotted into second, but not to be denied, Kyle Wyman was in the zone completely. As we said, he was picking up about a second a lap every lap of the 3 finishes with that margin of victory. And, you know, you always look a little taller when you stand on your wallet when you got $5 grand in it, right?
No doubt. You can see these guys, man. They I don't say they like each other, but they don't mind each other. You got Indian and Harley Davidson giving each other high fives and a little bit of congratulations there on that Mission Foods win. Tyler O'Hara and Kyle Wyman, you know, good sportsmanship.
Absolutely.
These guys really appreciate, and I think they both challenge each other all the time out on the racetrack, and they have for the past couple of years. So, yeah.
Well, and that's part of the game, isn't it? You find somebody and he pushes you, makes you faster. You find something, you push him, he goes faster, and that's how the progression happens. And sometimes you just push each other to a whole different level.
Well, the riders are pushing each other, the factories are pushing each other, they're pushing the motors, the chassis, and we're seeing the results of that this weekend with some incredibly impressive lap times.
And we talked about it before. Not around for a long time, this class, and seeing the gains they're making from year to year at this, you know, every circuit certainly showing here. Spectacular.
Yeah, I think we're on our 10th race.
Yeah, I mean
that's a normal season of superbike racing. You get 10 rounds in, so we're almost a full season in to bagger racing.
Well, and I'll tell you what, it is worth every minute of it. These guys put on such a show from the challenge. With that absolutely just flat out go after it approach. And then when it comes to the races themselves, they're just entertaining. And these heavy bikes, you got to manage those tires a little bit. These guys are fun to watch. And I think we're about to hear from Michael Hill, who's made his way down to the podium.
Yes, I am indeed down here at the podium with a huge crowd down here. What about it, Laguna Seca? Make some noise! Lots of cheers for the HD Screaming Eagle Harley Davidson, Kyle Wyman. Kyle, we're going to speak to you in a second, but before we do, we need to ask from Mission Foods, Mr. Juan Gonzalez, to walk in with this baby. $5,000 for the winner of the challenge. Big smiles from Mission Foods and from Kyle Wyman. He bags $5,000. Thank you to Mr. Gonzalez. The crowd going crazy down here. And Kyle, well, that check is so big I can't even get the microphone anywhere near you. Fantastic race. Led it from the front, never headed. What a great way to start your racing weekend here.
Yeah, it's good. You know, we've been struggling to get these mission challenges figured out this year. We've had our share of difficulties, but we finally got one, so you know, happy to get the extra money, and big thanks to Mission for putting that out for us, and we appreciate it. But
Honestly, I'm a little uncomfortable still on this bike. It may not appear so. I'm kind of struggling with some edge grips. So if we can sort some things out, we can go probably another half second quicker. So it's pretty wild what we're doing on these Harley-Davidson road glides around here. It's just a dream to be up here and do it the way I did it last year. So hopefully a little more tomorrow.
Obviously, there's no time to rest for you. You've got the Superbike race coming up as well. And obviously, got to say congratulations and happy anniversary. I know you celebrated a wedding anniversary this week as well. So big smiles. And I guess Hannah's already probably spent the check.
Oh, yeah. We get to spend an extra couple days in Carmel now. So it's a great little bonus. And thank you again to Mission. And, yeah, Superbike race this afternoon. So get rested up, get some food, and be ready to start that one.
Good job, thanks. Carl Wyman then takes the Mission Food King of the Baggers Challenge victory. Our next race, of course, Stock 1000s. And of course, for the fans that are here trackside, make sure you're here at 5:45 for the party in the paddock. I'm going to head my way back upstairs. Let's head back to the booth as we get ready for Stock 1000.